Hello everybody, Timothy Bailey with our video for today. Today we're going to continue what we started in the last video, and that was looking at misused words. And we're using the book Painless Grammar. Last time we talked about effect with an E and effect with an A. And I suggested if you're looking for the noun to use effect with an E, and if you're looking for the verb to use effect with an A. And that's true more often than it is not. So that's why I'm suggesting that to you. Also, we looked at a lot two words and a lot one word. And you can see a lot one word is crossed out because, in fact, that is not a word. So no matter how many times people write that, a lot is always two words. Now you can, however, if you remember, use lots, L-O-T-S. We looked at amount and number. So if we're talking about something that's uncountable, such as water or rice or time, we talk about the amount of rice, the amount of water, and the amount of time. If we're talking about things that we can count, books, children, cats, whatever, we're going to use the word number. So the number of children in this class is 27. We looked at can and maybe. And while you will hear native speakers not do this, they are different. Can is asking or is saying ability. I can play the piano. I can speak French. And may is asking permission. May I go to the park? May I borrow some of your money, right? May I borrow some money? We also looked at poisonous and venomous, right? Poisonous is things that we touch or eat, and venomous is things that bite us, right? Things we can get bitten by. So let's look at our new words today. We're starting off with anyway. Anyway is an adverb. You will often hear anyways, right? But just like a lot one word, anyways is not a word, right? People do this incorrectly, right? Just anyway, no S. I can't go on the trip anyway, right? Maybe I said, one of my friends was telling me about the trip and it's going to be great. We're going to do this and this, right? And I might say, it doesn't matter. I can't go on the trip anyway. Okay? There's no way that I can go on the trip is what the word anyway means. But again, it's an adverb, so it is telling us about the verb go. Now, we might have two words, and that is a different meaning. You can get there any way you like. So here, this is the noun, right? Just like path or road or whatever, right? So this is telling us that wherever I want to go, the library or the park, I can go there a number of different ways, right? I can go there any way, right? Let's look at another one. So here we have three people, right? Two girls here on the right and then the boy on the left. And the girl in green has a book, right? Now we're looking at bring and take. People often confuse these. Imagine that the girl with the book is talking. She is the speaker. So she says to the boy, make sure to blank your book. Make sure to bring your book. Make sure to take your book. Imagine the boy is going somewhere on a trip, and these maybe are his sisters, and they are staying at home. They would say, make sure to take your book. Okay, make sure to take your book. Now, if they were also going on the trip, they might say, make sure to bring your book. Okay. In general, take is referring to something going away from the speaker. So the brother is going to take this book on his trip, right? So the book is going away from the person who is speaking, his older sister here, possibly. Bring refers to things that are going toward or going with the speaker, right? So if the brother was talking, he might say, I need to bring my book, right? Because the book is going with him, right? All right, and I should not have the from there. That was my mistake. Let's try another one. So we have two cats here. We're looking at different from and different than. So the first example, your cat is different from my cat. We use different from, typically, when we're comparing or we're looking at two things. Your cat, my cat. And the possessive adjective here, my and your, right, doesn't matter. This is just a noun phrase and a noun phrase. Okay, so your cat is different from my cat. Now for different than, right, we're going to use a clause. And a clause is the next level of language below a sentence. So it'll have a subject and a verb. And if you look here, after the different than, you can see the subject I here and the verb remembered. So my cat is different than I remembered him at the shelter. Okay, so subject verb. So again, different from, noun, noun, or noun phrase, different than, a clause comes after with the noun or with the subject and the verb. Try another one here. So we have some people hiking, and we're going to look at further and farther. And to begin with, notice that the pronunciation is different. Further, farther. And this is a tricky one, and I have a trick sort of question in the beginning. Excuse me. Do you want to walk what? I said this one's tricky because you could sort of put both here. The first answer would probably be farther. And I'm going to talk about that in a second, right? Farther is referring to actual distance, such as, do you want to walk another mile? Or do you want to walk another 2 kilometers, right? Do you want to walk farther, right? So in general, if you're thinking about distance as in miles or kilometers or whatever, this is the one you want. And you can remember that because of the word far. However, this question could also be understood as, do you want to walk more? As in, not in terms of distance, just do you want to walk more? Do you want to do more of this activity? In which case, then you could throw in the word further. Do you want to walk further? Okay. Now, further is very specific in other instances, however, such as this. Here's a mathematics textbook. So imagine I am in a math class. I must study blank before I take the test. So here we're not talking about distance at all. So farther is not going to be our answer ever for this. This one is going to be further. I must study more before I take the test. So again, in general, farther is for distance when we're actually talking about distance, miles and kilometers and things like that. Further is when we need to do something more of this activity, such as study more. Now we're looking at have and got. And again, you will hear this mistake made. Native speakers will do this. Have and got. Let's look at an example here. So we have a picture. Again, it looks like a math test. So maybe in the previous one, when I had to study, I did, and I got an A+. Here we're talking about Margin, however, so she is the one that got the A. So Margin, what? An A on her test. Most of you would probably get this. This is pretty easy, right? Not Margin have or Margin has, right? Margin got an A on her test. Well, why is that? Because she received it. So got is usually in the sense of receiving something, right? I got a letter in the mail. I got an A on the test. I received those things. Have is used for things, well, that you have. Think about holding it in your hand, even though not all of the things you have you can hold in your hand. Let's look at another example. Here are two brothers. So these are Margin's two brothers, right? Margin what? Two brothers, two younger brothers. Probably Margin has two younger brothers, unless maybe the two brothers were adopted, then Margin got two younger brothers. But more than likely, Margin has two younger brothers. Now here Margin is speaking. You can see the quotation marks. I what? Two younger brothers. But one thing that you will hear is you will hear people combine these and say, I have got two younger brothers. Right? But this is not necessary. Right? We do not need to do this. This word alone will tell us the meaning. Right? I have two younger brothers. There's no need for got. Me, myself, and I. Three that are often confused. Here you can see Lucy and I, right? So we were out last winter, I suppose, hiking. And we're going to look at three different examples. So Lucy and, I already told you, Lucy and I went hiking. I is a subject pronoun. Take out Lucy and. You still have a sentence. I went hiking, right? Take out and I. Lucy went hiking. This makes sense. So Lucy and I went hiking. Not me went hiking. Try this one. Lucy bought the hat for, if you said me, you are correct. Me is an object pronoun, right? And you can tell the difference because the object pronoun is almost always somewhere at the end of the sentence, if not the very end of the sentence, right? You can also tell by thinking about the sentence. So who did Lucy buy the hat for? She bought it for me, right? And let's try one last one. Oh, this should say took. My mistake. I took this picture. What? I took this picture myself. This is called a reflexive pronoun. This one's easy to figure out, even though people sometimes think it's difficult. This should be the same person as the subject pronoun. You would never have Tony took this picture myself, right? This should be the same person as this. It's reflecting the subject, okay? So anytime a person is doing whatever the verb is, and they're the subject here, it's going to be reflective with self. Now, if we had Tony here instead of I, Tony took this picture, we're going to do the same thing, but not my. We're going to say Tony took this picture himself. Okay, himself. Right. All right, I hope that was helpful. Again, a couple links about misused words from last time. Check them out, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.